Hello, guys, and welcome to this week's Limitless Landscapers podcast. I'm Paula, and I'm just going to be going through a few things that have happened this week and some things that you may want to check out. So let's go to the show.
As the founder of the Landscapers Circle and the Limitless Landscapers podcast, I am here to help you get more money, time, and freedom to make your life and business truly limitless. Through my experiences as the owner of a garden design and landscaping business, and through tried and tested methods, if you want help with the marketing, managing, and growing of your business, then you are in the right place. If you are a landscaper, garden designer, horticultural business, or a supplier to the industry, be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show.
So how are you guys doing? I hope you're well. This last week's been pretty busy. We went up to Futurescape to have a look around there, and one of the greatest things that happened was that Capability Charlotte and Plastics Rebellion were there as well, and they were interviewing artificial grass companies and also real lawn companies. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, I did start with Capability Charlotte, the Time for Turf campaign. We started that back in January. We are still getting the message out there that real is better than artificial for many, many reasons. You can go check out the reports, which will be in the show notes, as always, if you want to download that and find out a bit more. And as you will know from what I've said, basically, it's really imperative that we start thinking about the environments we're creating as landscapers and designers in the industry, not just for the obvious benefit to the climate and ecological side, but also due to wildlife habitats. I mean, the more plastic we're putting down, the less wildlife habitats we have, which is something I'm more concerned with than anything else. And the fact that microplastics leaching into the water and the soil and contaminating things that potentially we would eat, that wildlife would eat, it's not a good way to go. Now, I have not liked artificial grass for a very long time for many, many reasons. If you look at the Time for Turf report, you will see quite a few myths that we've busted that Charlotte has put into the report. But what was quite interesting at Futurescape is the complete baloney that artificial grass companies sell individuals. So they claim it's recyclable, yet they also state in this particular video and interview that Charlotte and Plastic Rebellion did at Futurescape that actually there is no way to recycle artificial grass at the moment, but in 10 years hopefully there will be. I'm going to put the link to their full video. It's on YouTube because it's a really interesting little snippet. They were there for most of the day. They asked the APL, they asked Phil and Holly for their input as well, and it was an interesting day all round. And the snippets that you'll see, the interviews you'll see, really highlight the absolute rubbish that people are touting just to get you and your clients to purchase and install artificial grass. Very, very interesting. So go check that out. I'll drop the link in the show notes. Yes, as you can see, I've changed environment. It was getting a bit too noisy trying to record this while my husband is making dinner. So I thought I'd move somewhere a bit quieter and finish this podcast episode. So yes, check that out. Check out Time for Turf. Check out the Plastic Rebellion video. Follow them, support them, because I think what they're doing is great. And it's something the industry needs to take more seriously. I mean, we've already had it banned, I believe, RHS Chelsea. And essentially, the Landscape Show has been the first trade show to ban artificial grass exhibitors. So that's a real big, coup for us over here that are trying to drum away and get people to think about what they're installing and choose turf over artificial just as one thing that you can do to improve the state of the climate and the issues that it brings. So that's a really, really big thing. I know the SGD are very, very against artificial grass. It'd be great if the other associations followed suit, but let's see what happens there. So that was a really, really cool thing. And I think the best thing for me from Futurescape, I found the show okay. I found it the same as every year, same suppliers, nothing very unique or ingenious that I hadn't seen before. But on the other side of the coin, it was fairly inspiring because we got to meet lots of people. It's a face-to-face event, which is always good to, inspire and motivate people. So that was a great day up in London. And what I have been finding is, again, a few copycats, which is interesting. I won't name names, but there's a few copycats out there that are trying to be TLC or try and copy some of the elements of TLC, which is very interesting. And it got me thinking, because I don't know if you guys have had it where you've had copycats in your business. I've had it twice with Aura Landscapes, which I remember at the time being furious, really, really angry, and I had to kind of try and accept it. And I obviously now I've totally forgotten all about it, but it just brought it up that there will always be someone trying to copy you or do something that's the same as you, and you've just got to, one, remember that the thing that is most different about you versus anybody else is you, and how you are doing it, how you come across, how you interact with people. And that really is your power. And we've all got to remember to step into that, because we could all be furious, we could all be angry. I know I can get fairly angry. I'm quite a fiery person. I'm a Sagittarius, 40th birthday around the corner. And essentially, we all need to remember that it doesn't matter at the end of the day. And the two instances I had with Aura Landscapes, I mean, the funniest one was they were selling calendars and diaries with our project on the front, but named with their company name over the top. So that was the most ingenious thing I've seen when it comes to copying. Normally it's a website that's been ripped off, and they did do that as well, rip the entire website off, including copy, everything. It was almost like they'd just cut and pasted my website and then named it something else. But a really quick way you can deal with that, if you have seen that or are dealing with that, is literally get in contact with whoever it is and ask them to take it down. Usually that works, and it has in my two cases with Aura Landscapes and people trying to palm off, well, say our jobs are their jobs, which is always quite interesting. Funny now, wasn't at the time. And remember, only you are you, so step into that power. That's what I'm trying to channel right now. But it is fairly interesting. What it does prove to me is that I'm obviously doing something right. So and you guys are proof of that, because I do have many, many podcast listeners that love this show, and I hope to continue to grow this and continue to listen in. And I have lots of wonderful TLC community and members that want to be a part of TLC, of which I'm hugely grateful. So yeah, it's almost quite refreshing, because I'm obviously going in the right direction, which is great. The third thing I've done this week, which will be of interest to you guys, you landscapers, garden designers, is that I've done a bit of a year review, but not just this year to where we are now, from January to where we are now, but also compared it to the year before. Now, I've written an article for The Landscaper that goes into lots of detail around this and how we can finish the year out strong. And go check out The Landscaper magazine to see the article in full. But I wanted to share with you some interesting facts and figures. Now, I was also talking to one of my brilliant TLC members, Sam of Selby Landscapes, today, and they were also going through their yearly review, and they were looking at conversion rate, average project size, like value, and the changes that had occurred compared to last year, whether the income had gone up, whether they'd increased prices, and that had a big effect on anything. So that was really cool, because they were doing a similar thing to me. Now, I particularly focused on leads, because what I've found lately is people are saying there's not a lot of leads around. And actually, when I ran the figures, looking at 2021, same period, to 2022, there's not a lot in it. So I did a whole year, but I also looked at the last 3 months, so August to October. And what was quite interesting is, in my design and landscaping business, the only difference was 1 lead a month. And actually, 2022 had 1 lead per month extra. So in fact, we haven't dropped leads, although it feels like it's really quiet compared to the craziness that COVID brought with it. When you look at the facts, the reality is It's pretty much the same. The same with sales conversions, similar numbers, a difference of 2 between the 2 years. And it just got me thinking that we shouldn't be nervous and scared, because ultimately, if we've positioned ourselves correctly as a landscape and garden design company that's quality, then we should be attracting quality leads to us. And therefore, those higher end clients tend to not be affected by things like the economic crisis we're having at the moment, although I don't like talking about it. We're in a cost of living crisis, etc. So I wanted just to bring that up, because it would be really interesting if any of you went away and ran your numbers from last year versus this year, and also looked at a similar 3-month period over both years, and also look at January to now, and just see if there's a huge fluctuation for you. I'm not saying this will be correct for the same for everybody, should I say. So not all of you will see the same results as me, depending on where we are in the world, and what sort of marketing strategies you're doing, and how much money you're spending on paid adverts and stuff like that. But it would be really interesting just to run the facts, because a lot of the time we say, oh, I think we are X amount conversion, X amount of leads, X amount of sales. But then when you actually go and look at the numbers, it's a whole different story. And where I go for my numbers is, obviously I look at accounts and stuff for figures, but when it comes to leads and conversions and things like that, I go to my inquiry log. And if you haven't got an inquiry log, you need to set one up urgently, because that is where you should log every single inquiry, good or bad. And it gives you the basis that you can then go and do this sort of review, not just a review on profits and turnover, but a review on leads, a review on sales, a review on conversions, average project values, whether you're getting more designs versus landscaping, or a design and build, or just, you know, what type of garden designs people are taking, what packages they're choosing. And also another thing I looked at was where my leads were coming from. Now it won't, sorry, I keep looking down because I'm referring to the numbers on the sheet. Now it probably won't surprise you, but mostly they come from online, from an online source, whether that be website, emails, or lead magnets. But they're all sort of online sources, and they're similar levels both years. The other massive amount of leads where they came from were referrals. So referrals from their friends, family, other clients. So that was pretty high as well. And what that says to me is people are not only online is the way you have to be to generate leads and sales in this day and age, but you also have to absolutely build your referrals. So you need to encourage referrals, maybe think about putting in a referral system. I did a few years ago, haven't done it for a while. Contacting existing clients, always a good way to, you know, generate referrals and leads that way, if you are concerned about, you know, any leads dropping off, or you're feeling a bit quiet. But yeah, it was just really interesting to show that both years are very, very similar. Yet if you spoke to someone this time last year, I bet you'd be having a massively different conversation than you are this year. So that's all I wanted to bring up today. A few different things that have been happening this week that are really interesting. Like I say, links will be in the show notes. And yeah, think about doing a review, a quick numbers review on your business to see where you're at. Now, we do have a few changes coming to TLC again. I keep trying to realign my values and my brand vision with what I deliver to you guys. So there's going to be some changes in the pipeline. I will be contacting existing members and the community about this as we go, before fully launching it to everybody else going forward. So please do keep your eyes peeled. Also, I have my brand new masterclass, which will be sent out to anybody on the list on the 27th of November. So if you want to access that first, get on the list, because we will be sending that out, wow, in 6 days' time. I'm recording this on Monday the 21st. So essentially, do that, get your name on the list to get it first. And finally, from the ground up, we'll be intaking a new intake very shortly to start in the new year. If you're interested, go to launch, go to www.thelandscapercircle.co.uk/launch, put your name on the wait list, because there will be options to basically pay a deposit to secure your space so you don't lose your space on the next cohort. So if you are looking to start your garden design business, or you just finished your studies and now you want to start a business and get it off the ground, we've had some fantastic feedback just this morning on the catch-up call with the existing students. Some really fantastic feedback that I'll be sharing over the next few weeks with people that are interested in jumping on to the next cohort. So have a look at that and get your name on the list for that. Now, I think that's it. I'm all out of things to share with you this week. I think next week I will probably be going into a bit more detail on reviewing and closing the year out strong. So I will be doing that next week. And in the meantime, if you do need any help, any support, always here for you guys in the landscaping and horticultural industry. I love working with you guys. That's why I continue to do what I do. So if you need any help, please do reach out. So thanks for listening, guys, and I will see you next week. Bye.